Hold on to your mug. We're in for a wild night.
Hello and welcome everybody to Season 3, Week 5 of the Born to be Wild Listener Series. Tonight we are casting a match between our very own Electric Sheep City and our good friend JordanMG. My name is Nate Wolfe. I'm one of the co-hosts, or one of the hosts of Born to be Wild. Joined tonight by my good co-host, Hydralisk. I always say the stupid joke, long time no see. This is the Nerd Dad Club, so I don't feel too bad saying the same thing every week.
Yeah.
And of course, we've got a guest caster with us tonight. Welcome back, SchmoopieDaddy. It's good to see you.
Back casting, and I actually, a couple hours ago, I had my Week 5 matches, so I look forward to sharing any insight I got.
Loved it. Love it. Awesome. Well, for anybody who is not interested in the format here or the rules for our series, I want to jump into those real quick. Then we will look at the players' decks, and then we'll get right into the matches. So very briefly, the Born to be Wild Listener Series is a weekly Wild Hearthstone tournament series where there are special deck building restrictions each week. That's kind of what we do to keep things interesting around here. This is week 5. This is the last week before playoffs. And one of the interesting things is these two players are floating kind of around that top 8 mark. And so whoever wins this has a pretty good chance of going to the semifinals or the playoffs rather. And so really there's some kind of stakes here in this week's match. So excited to see it. Getting quickly into the rules of this series. The format is Conquest format. I'm going to read the rules very quickly. To play a round of Conquest, each player selects one of their decks to use for the first game. This is the format where you bring 4, your opponent bans 1. Any deck that wins a game cannot be selected for the remainder of the round, meaning that the winning player must move on to a different deck. The losing player may switch decks if they want to, but is not required to do so. The winner of the round is the first player to win using each of their decks. So in order to win tonight's match, that person has to win with all 3 decks. And then to quickly get into this week's custom deck building restrictions, this week's theme is called 1, Not 2, submitted by Kay. And here are the rules for this week. Each deck must be comprised of only 2 cost cards, except for 1 card. This card may be any mana cost, and it can be different for each deck. So 29 2-cost cards and 1 any cost card per deck. Minion spells and hero cards are allowed, provided they meet those restrictions. And then without further ado, let's jump into the decks that these players brought. So first up is Electric Sheep City. Jordan banned Sheep's Hunter, so Sheep will be playing the Druid, Priest, and Shaman. Any insight on these cards, you guys?
Well, I can see here with the Druid that Sheep has brought. It is more of like an aggro Druid that he's chosen to put an Arbor Up as his 1 card that does not cost 2 mana, which is an extremely powerful card, and I'm looking to see how well that performs. Earlier on the show, we were talking about how a lot of people did the Greybow route, and Sheep has gone with the Arbor Up route. So I'd like to see the burst from that and the board flooding and filling that we get from that.
Sheep playing aggro Druid? What?
Weird, right?
I was going to say, and he's built the list to go wide, right? Mm-hmm. Like I know Ginger Ninja and I were working on a similar list. We went the Greybow route, but we were trying to make our taunts kind of tall, because it was tough to have a reliable. We thought it was tough to kind of stick a reliable wide board. Mm-hmm. But Sheep is comfortable playing the archetype. He has no problem just saying, you know what, I'm just going to run a single rare as my 1 card that's going to be more than 2 mana, which I think is a huge call.
Yeah. Well, if Sheep can manage to stick a board, it'll be really strong, and that Arbor Up is definitely a finisher. So. Yeah. It looks like next up, Sheep has a Priest deck. The 1 card is Dark Bishop Benny. So it's an all 2-cost Shadow Priest deck, which will be pretty interesting. I like it.
He can print five Mind Blasts with that setup, by the way. He's got 2 Shadow Visions, and he's got a Thrive. So he's going to be basically fishing to end this game as quickly as possible. And aside from that, it's just, aggressive minions, me go face.
Yeah.
And then it looks like last up, Sheep has the Shaman deck. It looks like a bunch of Murlocs, and the Unite the Murlocs quest is the 1-cost card there. So it looks pretty straightforward, and there are a lot of 2-cost Murlocs. So it's a pretty aggressive lineup here from our friend Sheep.
I brought the same kind of idea this week against Maxi, and I can tell you that deck is just never going to run out of value. He's just going to have an ocean of Murlocs just continually coming at.
I built pretty much an identical list as well.
Yeah, I think mine is pretty similar as well, actually. A little bit different, but going through these 2-cost cards, it's like, well, what's good? Oh, wait a minute. There's lots of Murlocs. All right, well, let's quickly take a look into Jordan's decks as well. And first up, let me say that Sheep banned Jordan's Warrior, which was a quest warrior with the Fire Plume's Heart, the taunt quest, which I was really excited to see, but we will not be seeing that tonight. So Jordan will be playing Mage, Hunter, and Shaman. First up is a Mage deck with Open the Waygate, which is a super spicy inclusion here. Any thoughts on this, fellas?
Maxi burned me out with this as part of his reverse sweep earlier in the evening, and the spell damage that Imprisoned Phoenix can give you means your cram sessions can, draw a bunch of cards. The little tiny burn spells all of a sudden become big burn spells, and that extra turn in this format is just absolutely brutal.
I'm excited to see how this list performs. I myself had the idea to make an Open the Waygate deck for this format, and I couldn't quite put it together myself. I couldn't optimize it, and this looks like a pretty cool list. So I'm really excited to see Jordan play this.
Yeah. All right, moving over to the Hunter, we have a quest line Hunter with Defend the Dwarven Districts. And a bunch of 2-mana spells and some secrets as well that all cost 2. So this will be interesting. I looked into this myself and was wondering if I could pull it off, and I think the answer is I think so. This deck I think is going to be pretty strong, actually. So I don't know. Wandmaker is a great 2-cost inclusion for some value as well.
Actually banned this deck from Maxi playing it because it spooked me so much into what's going to be a pretty wide board competition for the most part, and just the idea that he could just continuously ping everything down, just like it was too spooky. I couldn't let him use it, so I'm excited to see it because I haven't seen it in action yet.
Right.
Yeah, and there's a couple ways. He's got Bomb Toss in the list here, so that deals 2 damage, but then summons the 0/2 bomb, I believe.
Yep.
And there's a couple ways to trigger that. You could shoot your own with maybe some bola shots, stuff like that, to try to get the extra face damage. So that'll be really interesting. I'd like to see how this goes.
Yeah. And then last up, we have it's a quest Shaman, but it's Corrupt the Waters, which is the quest that requires you to play Battlecry minions. And then the reward is your Battlecries trigger twice. So this will be really interesting as well, with a deck that's such low to the ground. But there's some good cards in here. I see some Lackey Generation,
Jades.
Yeah, this is like a quirky list, but it looks like this could be, I think, like the dark horse here. This deck, I think, is probably surprisingly strong.
A big upgrade in the nerfs with Perpetual Flame moving to 2.
Hey, there you go.
So that kind of board clear is just filthy when you're talking about a majority of minions are going to be between 1 and 3 health.
Right.
Max was running 2 copies. Jordan only going with the 1, which I think is interesting. And the other thing that's spicy in here, the 2 other minions are the Fogsail Freebooter. While you have the Gavel up, can deal 4 if the hero power is triggered, if your quest is done. And the Mudspark Eels, which I think is just a brilliant little addition. Because
Yeah.
I got hit with those in testing, and I was like, oh man, you're right, those are legal this week.
All right. Well, I think that's about it for us. I'm letting these players know that they are ready to proceed. I do want to share one last thing here. We do have their decks represented in the form of player or little class icons up on the screen. The ones that are banned have a red X through them, so you know that they cannot play those classes. And then they need to secure a win with the other remaining classes. Once the player gets a win, you will see them get a green check over it. So those of you watching at home can kind of see where things are at. And
All right.
with that, all right, cool. They are starting up.
All right. It looks like Jordan has queued up his quest line hunter, and we are going into Sheep City's quest Murloc deck.
A little bit of AoE removal right off the bat, which is going to be pretty helpful, I think, in a Sheep's deck. But I think what you're going to find when you watch it is Sheep is going to have so much refill.
Yeah, I can definitely see that, especially with the underbelly anglers, the completing the quest. There's a lot.
It was neat that Sheep actually included the Tide Hunter this week, if only because Taunt seems to be so powerful in this format, just at least this particular week. I looked at it, I sniffed at it, I didn't end up pulling the trigger and adding it, but I thought that was a really neat inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
It's like so far we've got Sheep trying to figure out how much he wants to commit to this board. And he knows there's a snipe in the deck, so he's trying to figure out what he wants to feed to the snipe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could be snipe or the explosive. Looks like he's thinking about drawing.
Puts him for 2 the next turn though, and he's gonna get it over with now.
Yeah, I took the draw now.
Just about as pretty as you can.
Jordan has a lot of removal right now.
Gonna need it all at some point, and a lot of the Murlocs have 3 health, so it's not a guarantee he's going to be able to count on those explosive tracks for board clears. But yeah, I mean this is where you'd want to be if you're Jordan in this matchup.
So we got another snipe from the mad scientist.
Mm-hmm.
Tempos up the phase stalker.
I think he did that oops intentionally to fake Sheep out that he doesn't have the 2 last secrets in hand. I don't know if that Face Stalker actually draws anything anymore.
Progresses to the next stage of the quest. Not a lot to do on this turn. Just gonna hold on to those explosive traps. Save them for an opportune time, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, and this seems like a heads-up move from Sheep to try to get his board tall instead of wide, to kind of play around the AoE.
If Jordan plays a secret there, he kind of gives up what his oops was all about, right? Like, so he's kind of trying to play 5-dimensional chess here.
Yeah. Still holding on to those secrets.
The Panthara is great for draw.
Yeah.
Sheep continuing to print minions that are going to be pretty good into the explosive trap.
Mm-hmm.
And Sheep is at 8 out of 10 on the quest.
Oh yeah, good on you. Thank you for that. And I think this will be interesting because, yeah, I was gonna say Jordan's got to figure out a way to take down this board. It's just gonna keep getting bigger, and I almost wonder if that's a tell. Like, does she buff the 2/3 or something else to kind of play around, or maybe it's something else to play around the explosive trap?
He totally, yeah, that's totally a tell that it's explosive trap, right? So that's what Jordan's playing around, or Sheep's playing around right now.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. He's gonna sacrifice the one to save the rest. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Rolls the healing totem. That's going to be huge.
What? Yeah. I wonder. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the other secret come down this turn.
About this for Jordan is he is going to need spells for, you know, finding lethal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like his deck is requiring spells in order to do what it does. So if he's expending all these resources now playing defense, and this is kind of how you beat Quest Time Hunter in Wild sometimes, right? Is you kind of just go at them and then you make them have stuff until they don't have stuff anymore.
Right. Well, look at that play. He used the hero powder to take out the healing totem so that these things don't they can't play around the explosive trap.
Can get a Megafin this turn, I think.
Yeah, what is he at right now? I think it's yeah, he's at 9 of 10.
At
so.
10, yeah.
Did we see many people include Dirty Rat in their list at all?
It's one of the best cards this week, honestly.
It probably is really good this week.
Because there was a major thought of mine was 2 mana, 2/6. Either you pull a small minion out or you pull a win condition out. So
I think this week Dirty Rat, like coin on one, coin Dirty Rat is correct. 100%, unless you know for a fact the deck list is like a minefield for it. But it's usually not, right?
mm-hmm.
You can use on the bomb later.
Yeah, that 8/8 is a problem. I mean, I don't know how Jordan gets through it, frankly. And I imagine she probably just sends it face.
He's got to somehow hope that you know, Tavish can trade into this or something like that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Gas Sheep has, like, just,
Yeah, look at that hand. 10 cards.
and this what this Murloc deck does is it basically just swarms you and outvalues you unless you can push face at the same time as you're clearing board. And Jordan just hasn't been able to do that. He's had to play too defensively, and that's not Jordan's fault. It's just the function of his deck.
Right. Wow.
Push that 8 damage face. Ignore the Tavish. Keep that
So
pressure
sheep.
on.
How much damage can sheep deal next turn? He can deal 14. That's not going to be enough, I don't think. Well, let's see where this goes.
Oh, that was
Wow.
pretty good for sheep, actually. I mean, for Jordan.
Did the same thing recently.
Interesting. The overwhelm is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Consider
think...
you're about to print a beast with Feed the Animals.
The question is, can Jordan kill him right now? And with where this differs than Odd Hunter is that the hero power is going to do 2 each turn instead of 3.
Interesting. Oh, maybe he found lethal.
Oh, I think he did because the bomb and plus the quick shot. Wow.
Oh, wow. Wow.
He found it. Okay.
Jordan. Those
I was
5-head moves.
Yeah, that was intense. That was a good play. I will admit I did not see it at first. So
the overwhelm killed the Megafin and died.
wow.
Well played to both players, Jordan. That was great. That was a really good play there right at the end. I really thought Sheep was running away with that game.
I did too. After he was able to complete the quest relatively easily, and I think able to play around some of the secrets pretty well. That was tricky, and Jordan spotted the lethal there that we had a hard time seeing. So, all right, they're queuing back up, and we've got the Shaman versus Shaman.
Looking hard for Perpetual Flame in this matchup just because it's a board wipe. Oh, Sheep's going to keep this hand or come close to it, I would think.
Yeah, so Sheep's deck is the same one. It's the Murloc quest, and Jordan is running the Corrupt the Waters quest, so the Battle Cry quest.
Lushwater Scout, which is going to be an absolute house as far as locking down the board this game. I lovingly refer to as Murloc Carpet.
Oh wow, this is some pretty good cards. I imagine the Horse Rider. I think just because the Divine Shield seems pretty strong.
Hit twice.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a little bit slow. It's a little bit slow for Sheep this turn because the cards that he's got on the far side over there are the value generators. This Underbelly Angler and then the next one, the Lushwater Scout, are both they're great cards, but you need to play them with other cards to make them good. So it's a little tricky.
You just want to send them out to die for sure.
Yeah.
To be the trickiest part about playing that deck this week is sometimes you're left kind of in turn 2 with too good a hand where you're in limbo and you're this aggro deck that can't aggro. So you have to come up with something else to do.
Mm-hmm.
Strong term, though, for Sheep. Especially because he gets to buff the Lushwater Scout. Sorry, Murloc Carpet.
Yeah, that thing's got to go.
A lot of resources into killing it, and Jordan won't mind one bit. good job of keeping sheep pretty much even on board, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just going to put some stats on the board this turn.
What is the end game for Jordan here with the quest line? Is it, I mean, this almost looks like a control matchup to me. If there's Jades involved, I'm just not sure. I mean, we see the freebooters that work with the quest. I know he's got the Jade weapon as well.
He's played out the freebooters now, so unfortunately he won't be able to get that extra damage. So he's played them out for tempo and for quest completion.
Sure.
These lists can generate an insane amount of value, especially when you consider what Bullner can do with like the cable rat as far as generating lackeys, then what the lackeys can do, and then the fact that you have Bullner out, which will mean every time you play a lackey, you generate more lackeys. So like the end game is basically going to be a value battle as far as what I can see here now, how it's playing out. And if that's the case, then maybe Sheep has the edge because he's got a whole lot more value in his hand right now. Plus, his quest is going to give him a ton right up front. So Jordan's going to start finding his board clears and maybe being a little more proactive at some point, or else Sheep's going to swamp him. One last game, Jordan, because he found a way to go face right about when he was going to, just miss out and lose the game. So he's got to find a similar sort of line here, I would think.
It looks like Sheep is digging a little deeper, going for the draw. Time to discover a couple mechs.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Clockwork Giant would be amazing.
Yeti.
Oh, Mimiron's head for the memes? No.
There's this you're right about it being a value engine here. When
Sky Golem, yeah.
Well, yeah, when the rule is you've got to play a bunch of 2-cost cards. This gets around that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, in a legal way.
And
Oh, he chose the Mechanical Yeti. I thought he had chose the Clockwork Giant.
Especially because Megafin will make that super cheap. But you know what? Playing a 3-mana 8/8 doesn't exactly get you out of a Megafin situation. I actually got to give K credit. Like, this is probably the most degenerate meta that I've seen in the Born to Be Wild listener series ever. Just because like you can generate so much value at 2 mana, but there's not a ton of board clears, and the ones that are like filthy. So the decks this week have been like super fun and just like really gross.
That's great.
Yeah,
It really does create. It creates such the funnest meta game that you're not gonna see anywhere ever on ladder.
No, and I actually went 4-0 with my Druid list on ladder. Like I beat a couple seed locks. Now, granted, one of them rage quit because I ratted Tamsin, but like they're not bad decks. Like sometimes a pile of 2-drops is a fine wild deck.
That's true. I agree. Yeah, big shout out to Kay. This is one of my favorite weeks of the entire series. I appreciate everyone for their suggestions, but this one has been so fun. And all right, I'm ready for this. I was waiting for Sheep to go wide here just to see. I mean, Jordan has got so much value, but I think Sheep, on the other hand, has got so much refill.
Yeah. Sheep's completed the quest now, but still has quite a large hand currently. So
Hex is looking good, but maybe you have to go into Runic Carving so that you play for board. I don't know what you guys think. Oh, he went Hex.
yeah, Hex will be. He's probably saving that for the Megafin, I would suppose.
I want to do Plague of Murlocs. Enough to full clear for now, but again, I say for now because Sheep can just keep hand dumping until he's got Megafin as the last card, and then he can dump Megafin, and then you just keep going. Oh, and he just got Flurgle.
Oh,
Use the Toxfin.
I wonder. He's just going wide.
Yeah, it's trying to empty the hand, it seems here.
Oh,
Stealth.
snap. Wow.
Gross. Gross.
What? That was rad. Oh, my
Oh,
goodness.
that was the spare part that he got? Wow.
Perpetual Flame waiting room.
That's true. A Perpetual Flame pretty much does it. So the Healing Rain buys Jordan a turn. But, the question is it enough?
Saved the Flurgle from being hexed.
That is very true. I almost wonder if we see the Megafin come down, like...
I think you do. I'm not sure if you... I guess Sheep doesn't want to burn a card. I would have thought about just emptying hand. Especially if we can find a Toxfin.
Then, the interesting piece, and I know, we've got caster vision, but with the Hex there, Jordan's going to have to choose between the Megafin and the Flurgle, which is going to be a little bit awkward.
I think you have to do the Megafin because of the damage it represents, but the Flurgle is might do the same amount.
Right?
Yeah, unfortunately they killed the Merc Spark. Sheep killed the Merc Spark. Jordan could have brought it back to his hand with Time Rewinder there. To kill the Flurgle and Hex the Megafin, but Sheep killed it.
That is a very large board of Murlocs there.
So I think he would have, Jordan would have loved to have Spirit Clawed or whatever with the Jade Clawed, the Flurgle over 2 turns, but he had to hex the Megafin, so now there's a taunt in the way, so he's got to kind of play around that.
Yeah, we see it all just go in face here. Yeah, Jordan's in a lot of trouble.
Lackey, save me! Spell Lackey would be very good here. What could it get for... There's a Spell Lackey. What could it get for 5?
The Plague of Murlocs. Oh my goodness. The Hagatha scheme would be super valuable, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Super slow. He's never going to get there.
Does he ever take the Crushing Hand?
Oh, he took the Hagatha. Let's see. Oh, okay. So this does gets rid of most of the board.
It does actually.
They ram in the Sky Golem, right?
I think
that Flurgle's gotta go.
The Flurgle has to go. Yeah. What an intense matchup here.
The Titanic Lackey actually can come in handy here to save him. He could trade and then get a taunt minion up here.
It's going to be taunting for it's going to be +4 health.
Yeah. Double battle cry. It's going to put it on the Jade. We got a 2/6. We got a Dirty Rat in play on the right.
Wow. I thought Jordan was toast, and that might have been enough to... Oh. Never mind. Maelstrom Portal's a card. That's like almost a full board clear. Wow.
Actually, didn't like the Maelstrom Portal in Sheep's list, and I'm being made a fool because they've been doing work, right? It's 1 damage plus board presence in a week where that's kind of a premium. Any kind of AOE.
Yeah.
Right, how long do I have to wait for this scheme?
This game is going a lot longer than I thought. They're halfway through their decks. Sheep only has 11 cards left.
Yeah, I do
I think this might be over.
I think so. With Jordan's health is so low.
I was gonna pull the Gnomish Inventor back and draw a card.
2 mana that can get him out of this. Because he's trying to figure out, okay, so he's just going to hero power the gnome.
So drawing 2. He can buff up his Jade, but I don't know. This might be the end.
To prevent lethal? No, I don't think it does.
I don't see. Yeah, I don't really see an out.
I'm gonna double it up, right? So it's gonna be a 4/7. So that might be enough to stay. He's gonna. I mean, I think he has to do this and pray that there's no buffs from hand. But Sheep has buffs from hand.
Well, and Sheep has this card here that the Corrupted Seer does 2 damage. Will help to destroy that taunt. Yeah.
It's gonna hurt his chicken though. Come on.
Rip Garibashi chicken.
Should have hit with the chicken first.
I wish I had chicken. All right. Here we go. All right. Sheep gets it with the Shaman. Wow. Yeah, no, this is truly an incredible series so far. Yeah, and both very, very good players as well, and so that's part of the fun. Like, inventive deck building restriction, great players, and yeah, some impressive matchups. So
we're tied now, 1-1.
Yep. I would not be surprised if this went to 5.
And I don't know, after going to 5, that'd be 3 points for the winner. That'd bring them to 16. I think that's still a dicey amount as far as, what gets you into playoffs at this point. I'm on 17, and I think, Ben from Work can get to 16. There's a couple of other players that can kind of cross that threshold. Mm-hmm. Cyberon, I think, is also in the hunt.
Yeah, it's tight.
All right. This is the Sheep special here. I mean, one of the things that we know about Sheep is that Sheep loves aggro Druid, and this is a really interesting kind of play or take on that deck. And if Sheep can manage to go really wide and get the buff with the Arbor up, that may clench it. That being said, Jordan's deck seems surprisingly strong with all the battle cries.
Only a great week for scamming.
Every week is a great week for scamming. For those of you who are watching that have joined late, let me give you a quick heads up about this series. So this is a weekly Wild Tournament series. This is week 5. This is the last week before we get into the playoffs, and so the winner of this match has a pretty good chance of going to the playoffs. There are special deck building restrictions each week, and the restriction for this week is that the entire deck must contain 29 2-cost cards, and the remaining 1 card can be any cost. And so this case, the different players have chosen different things. For Jordan, the cost or the other card is the quest. For Sheep, in this Druid matchup, the other card is Arbor Up.
Arbor Up. Did Sheep keep Smelly Patches in the mulligan? Did he keep the encumbered pack mule with the battle main?
I don't think so.
With the battle guard? Excuse me. I think he might have, just so he could coin it out and just start with that very strong opening play.
I missed it.
I don't think his mulligan changed.
Look at this though. This is a very wide board here.
I'm almost surprised Sheep didn't compost, but I mean he knows this archetype so well that he knows you got to take some risks, I guess, and he's choosing now to take the risk. Posting for a little refill. Whoa, snap pick from Jordan to get that taunt divine shield down.
Yeah, that Psychotron's going to be great.
I see here the Sheep is being very judicious with the buffs, wanting to go really kind of almost greedy. I think go really wide before the buffs are put down. I don't think that that's wrong, but that's kind of what I'm seeing here.
Built the deck, right? Like instead of kind of making his taunts bigger or going full in on taunts, he's going to try and just flood board.
Right.
Which means he's really got to wait to commit his buffs to the board he wants, because otherwise he runs out of gas so hard. But I think this composting is going to come down soon. I think it has to, right?
I wouldn't be surprised at all if next turn we got a composting in both of these buffs. And just ship it all face. I mean,
we can only do one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Buff.
I thought it was going to be 6. I've got this the other cards covering up my screen here. You're right. It'll be on 5. Yeah, good call.
Oh,
I think you're right. Like I think he almost has to.
The composting seems great with the taunts, right?
That Faceless came in pretty clutch with the decent 2-drop.
I think she does maybe not. I would figure he would compost here just because
I think we'll see one.
The battle
I think he might buff first, then compost.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the buff and the compost makes sense. Maybe some value trades. I don't know.
If he double buffs, it's a big call.
Okay. He's gonna go for the draw.
Wow. 11 damage if he ships it face.
Yeah, looks like he's shipping face.
I love it. I mean, that is what the
deck. There it is.
No.
Oh, but I will say,
Jordan,
that what a draw.
Wow. Rip. I mean, I guess Sheep does draw 4 cards, so.
Delightful. The composting just in time, though. Wow, what a top deck.
Then the Psychotron just to seal that turn right up.
Thing about Perpetual Flame, right? It's like, all right, you take your next turn off, but it doesn't matter because you just got to develop because you only spent 2 mana. It used to be 1 mana, but you only spent 2 mana taking out everything that your opponent had built up. That's a great rat, by the way. That was going to be a thorn in Sheep's side.
Yep.
I was gonna buff.
Do we compost again?
Compost or buff? Oh yeah, good compost again.
He's got to know. He's got to know that Jordan only runs 1 copy of Perpetual Flame, right? Because they're open deck list.
That was it. He shot his bolt.
Looks like Sheep's leaning towards the composting over the buff here. Yep.
Find Arbor up at this point, right? Like that's how he wins.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan's got to kill that 2/3 is a little bit of a problem in terms of these top minions, but I don't know.
There's too much in the way. And he doesn't have enough mana to hero power Merc Spark it.
Doesn't want to draw Sheep cards, I don't think, either. But he doesn't have a whole lot of a choice. All right, I'll try to take out the rat.
Oh, there's the cards. There's the draw.
Wow, but with his taunts are all costing so low. This Razormane Battle Guard putting in work here.
Yeah, let's put up some more taunts and keep it safe.
Wow. I will tell you what, I'm thoroughly entertained. I'm having a great time. Like, these are good matches. Like, my goodness, wow.
Good decks. You could make some really good decks this week.
Case
for that.
Kind of on the edge of my seat here. Right.
I mean, so we're gonna sitting on the edge of my seat.
We'll definitely see the 0 mana cards come down, right?
1.
Yeah, the first taunt you play.
I think he's gonna go in on 1 more buff. sheep, get it in.
Gets rid of the Merc Spark.
Okay.
All right. He really wants to draw that armor up. That would be
well.
good for him.
It'd be game winning. Yeah.
Quote Yogi Berra, it's getting late early for sheep because he's got, Jordan's just going to keep on clearing his stuff.
He's got both Jade Claws here, which is great.
I think he wants to play the Wriggling Horror though, right? Because wouldn't he want to buff the minions? I would think. I guess he can do both. And the buff twice. Wow.
Jade Claw is going to make a 3/3/3 and a 4/4 too. Problem for another turn.
Yeah, look at this. It's like bored out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's huge. 5/5 taunt protecting it.
Fill 2, that's the spooky thing. He's got a refill. Pull either Haunted Creeper or Pack Mule, I think. There might be another beast in there. Let's see. Creeper. Okay.
Yeah, it's not bad for a wide board.
This
card I haven't seen in
got
a while.
Ton of health. The bad news is his health's kind of immaterial because Jordan's starting to reach that critical mass that aggro druids hate, where you can just take the board, and if you take the board, they can't do anything.
Looks like he's gonna go for the buff here.
Right? And just hope that enough stuff survives for his top deck arbor up.
I guess.
I make that trade.
I think
it's kind of forced to. I don't know how many taunts he's got left.
Well, the Quilboar has got the
yeah,
it'll draw a card, right? So oh wow,
that is pretty good with the
freebooter can kill the
hero power.
Jade's for free too. He can just play his second Jade Claw, and then you're talking about a 3/3 and a 4/4. Like, he's got refill for this board, and Sheep's only way to clear his board is to trade into it. Sheep doesn't want to trade. Sheep, go face.
Sheep only has 9 cards left in the deck.
Clears here, right? Like this, I think he's got the way to.
I think
Just eyeballing it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I almost think that like Jordan's got to clear it, right? Because otherwise, Sheep can top deck lethal.
We get the Jades now. He's gonna leave the Creeper alone.
I was gonna say no respect for the Creeper, man. I'm still 4 off lethal from what if my math is right, and I don't trust my math to be right because I've been up since 5 in the morning.
Looks like he goes for the draw. Dirty Rat's good.
Dirty Rat is very good.
Draws again. Really looking, digging.
Living Seed. One of these living seeds or whatever it's called is gonna draw a pack mule.
I like using the hero power on the 4/1 because Sheep's health is so high. Okay.
Experience with this archetype, right? Because like he's so patient making some of these plays, and I would just be vomiting my hand and probably dying.
I have things you never knew you wanted.
Evolve.
Wow, that Reign of Toads
is
might
also
be,
is also GG. Oh, or
I could see that.
I almost wonder. I mean, it's just a giant wall of taunts here. What did he end up taking?
Lightning bolt.
Lightning breath, lightning bolt. Yes. All right. Wow. Well, this is the tricky part about only being able to run one card that doesn't cost 2, and so the Arbor Up is a 1-of.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if you consider keeping it in the mulligan, just because
It's so hard to come by.
Win con, right? Wow.
It slows you down so far. Oh, there's a Belligerent Gnome. I actually really liked Belligerent Gnome this week. You know, a 2-mana 2/4 with taunt. Taunt's so powerful. Oh, got the creeper. Just doesn't look good, right?
No.
Sheep's not surrendering yet. Sheep's not counting himself out.
I'm glad.
Aggro Druid player, just never concede.
It's definitely an intense matchup.
Yeah.
It would,
even when things work with the worst, don't concede. You're playing Aggro Druid.
This lightning breath could go straight into one of these taunts here.
Never knew who you wanted.
God, all this stuff can go face. Ooh.
Crackle.
Crackle.
All right, so he chooses the crackle. Oh, 3. That's okay. Yeah. Lightning breath will take that out if he wants to. I feel like that's probably a good call.
Was there a lethal presented for Jordan here? Did he have enough mana to send some of that burnt face, or did he not have any way to get around the taunts? Back. I'd have to watch it back. I think he's definitely tunneling in on just taking out board, and I think that's
He
so
does
safe
not want
right
that,
now. It
that
doesn't even
armor
matter.
up to hit. So he's trying to secure himself this turn.
I mean, it's definitely the safe play, but that's how you win, right? I mean,
Yeah, you just squeeze it out.
There it is.
There it is.
oh, jeez, rip.
Third from the bottom of the deck. There. He knows he's done now.
Well, so Jordan gets the win with the Shaman. All right, it is currently 2-1. Looks like the players are going to take a very quick break, so I want to use this opportunity. Number one, to say thank you, everybody, for the raids. It looks like we've got some folks here from Glare and Keith Numbers and Corbett. Thank you very much for the raids. While we've got you all here, let me take this quick opportunity to tell the newer viewers what you are witnessing here today. So this is the Born to be Wild listener series. This is a weekly Wild Hearthstone tournament series that we kind of sponsor from the Born to be Wild podcast. The interesting part about the tournament here is that there are weekly deck building restrictions, and so it's definitely Wild format Hearthstone weekly tournament, but every week there are different rules. And so this week, let me jump back into the challenges real quick. Essentially, it's conquest format, right? Bring 4, ban 1. But there are different deck building restrictions each week. And so this week, the challenge is called 1 Not 2. Each deck must be comprised of only 2-cost cards except for 1 card. This card can be any mana cost, and it can be different for each deck. So 29 2-cost cards and 1 of any cost card. So that's why you are looking at these decks and saying, what in the world is happening right now?
We also have the exception of Gen and Baku.
Yes, Gen and Baku have been banned for the entire tournament series. They cause too many shenanigans, so we have decided to ban them for the series in general. So far the score is 2 for Jordan, 1 for Sheep. And looking quickly at the decks, so Sheep did win with the Murloc Shaman here. There is this aggro Druid left with the one-off card is the Arbor Up down here. And then there's also a Shadow Priest with, I believe, SchmoopieDaddy, you were saying up to 5 copies of Mind Blast. Is that right?
I think he can at least copy, or maybe 4.
Because I've got
right,
Shadow...
2 off Shadow Visions,
Right.
and then Thrive just pulls it from deck. So 4. But,
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
still.
20 damage is enough.
That is a lot. Looking over at Jordan's decks really quick, Jordan has already won with the Hunter. It's a really heads at play, spotted the lethal that we missed off the Hunter, just won with the Shaman, with this Corrupt the Waters Shaman. So the final deck for Jordan will be this Mage deck here. The one-off card is the Open the Waygate. And so we're looking at a bunch of random cards coming up here. It'll be really interesting. It looks like they are back and ready to go.
All right.
Goes back with the aggro druid, or do you think he tries to snag something with the Shadow Priest, knowing that Jordan's going to go with the Mage?
It'll be interesting. I guess we will see. Did not have time to speculate, but
Yeah, either way, he's going to want to smork him down. I guess it's going to be the Druid. The deck that he's most familiar with. It's a sheep special, so going to grab the Druid to attempt to get Jordan before he can complete his Open the Waygate quest here.
And two, both these guys are looking to get as many points as they can to keep themselves in contention for a playoff spot. So Sheep's probably going with what he's most comfortable with. Whether or not he wins the series, he needs at least to get the points.
Oh, and look at what is in Sheep's hand. We do have the Arbor up. So there's some potential here.
Bright spot, because I think he's probably not all that happy outside of that. Maybe now that he's got the 2 Annoyotrons, he's a little bit happier.
Yeah. The Dirty
Jordan
Rat is a pretty nice pull, actually.
Yeah, it actually really is. Jordan just got back-to-back questing explorers and pulls out the other one. That's a great pull.
Maybe
stop the draw there.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit selfishly, I want this to go to 5 games just because they're both great players and kind of excited to draw this out as long as it can go. Ooh, and another Dirty Rat. Oh, look at that other Dirty Rat from Sheep. I don't know why you wouldn't play it, right? I mean,
this is clutch on the Metacyclone here.
Yeah.
Composting? How do you follow this up now?
Yeah, maybe the composting. I mean,
draw 3. I mean, this board's gonna go at some point. So I think that's pretty good. Draw 3, 2 mana, draw 3. I'll take it.
And he's forcing Jordan to make the trades. Not real surprising. Well, those are kind of sad choices there.
There's no real elementals.
So maybe he spends the money. Now he'll take the removal. The Arbor up in play. It could be that Sheep ends up making a minion that's big enough that the Fire Lance is relevant.
Yeah.
So, no, it's mega expensive. Still here. He's got all the resources, but he's only got 5 mana. Yeah, right? I have to get real close to see. My eyes aren't great. Ooh.
Oh, and the Pack Mule.
Great.
Nice.
I mean, what we see, right, is Sheep wanting to go as wide as possible.
We're going to see Jordan probably just trying to keep Sheep's board down because
Wildfire is juicy.
Jordan knows how this deck's going to work.
Wildfire is quite juicy, actually, with the board full of tokens. The evocation is interesting as well. I don't know if you choose it just because he doesn't have a ton of mana.
Yeah, like it's great for your quest, but
Jordan's already running a copy too. So do you like if he pulls the other evocation? Now you're talking about 2 evocations and no real way to cheat the mana, right? No, or does he have Sorks? Yeah, I think he has Sorks in the deck,
Well,
so he might pick.
yeah.
All right, so it's a free evocation, so that's not so bad.
The tricky piece
My eyes on
here.
wildfire.
The tricky piece here is what happens when Jordan completes the quest. Like, there's no giants to follow it up, right? Okay, like you get 2 turns, but then what? I guess is my question.
Your small burn spells are basically become big burn spells. So like your frost bolts now are dealing 5, and that's how Maxi got me in our match when he played this deck. It was a slightly different build than Jordan's, though. It wasn't the same 30 cards. So it'll be interesting to see this play out. Buff this board. Okay, he's waiting for a board to stick before he can commit the buff. Nope, he's gonna go for the buff.
yep. We got a buff on this one. There's one sorceress apprentice. Going to try to
Jordan's
go off a
going
little
in
bit
because
here.
he's just like, oh dear God, oh man, we're gonna see some shenanigans. Strap in for your APM.
Arcane explosion is gross.
Wow.
Pick the lowest cost cards and go.
Pretty much, right?
Enchanters.
Encanter's
Gross.
flow. Oh my goodness.
That was just
Grace's
quest
ally is a house.
completion. Basically did the quest on 1 turn there. That was insane.
Hang his own face in the brittle bone is active, right?
Yes.
If your hero's health.
So he can ping his own face. It's an active card.
Wow. I mean, Sheep needs to kill these 3/2s.
Yeah, they gotta go.
Have to go, right?
A water alley for his trouble.
Oh, yes. Now, I do see that Sheep has a
There's a wrath.
there's
to kill
a wrath.
1.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the only. He doesn't have another spell.
No, that's not counterspell either, but I don't know how much of that is a concern for Sheep right now. He just watched his whole board blow up, and he might still be stuck in animation jail.
It's possible. The problem is if you don't, I mean, like, we know that Jordan has the quest completed. And so the problem is, like, if you leave these up, I mean, you're looking at a difficult time here.
Is there a spectating bug for you guys? Did you see something funny?
I didn't. Yeah, I don't know. The rope is burning, so. Yeah, let me back out real quick and jump back in and just see. Yeah, there must be a bug. Hold on. I'm gonna quit real quick and jump back in.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing as you.
Sheep play nothing, and then nothing happened.
All right. I'm jumping back in right now.
I see you're headed into town. What will you do first?
Small indie company and all that. All right, let's see what we missed here. Oh, so it looks like Sheep went face, and there's still one apprentice left. All right, we're back.
I gotta give Sheep credit for the stones, though, that he's just leaving the Sork out there, even though he knows the Time Warp's in hand, just sort of saying, like, all right, well, he's either going to use it and kill me or screw it. You know, I'm just going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Turn.
I mean, with a board full of taunts, maybe it's worth it.
He's still holding on to that Arbor up for now. He has not had the board to actually be able to use it efficiently.
Looking at the secrets here, one is Effigy. When a friendly minion dies, summon a random one with the same cost, and the other is the Oasis ally. So, when a friendly minion is attacked, summon a 3/6 water elemental.
Jordan thought real hard about just ripping that Time Warp.
I saw that.
Instinct. Here it comes.
Yeah, you called it on pinging face.
Yeah, just taking out Sheep's board. Sheep can do a bit of a refill here. Is he gonna hero power and take out the Sorcerer's Apprentice? Or is he gonna draw here? Yeah, we're gonna draw composting.
Sheep's done trading.
Mm-hmm. All right. 2 turns now.
Nate, I don't think Jordan can kill Sheep outright with this Time Warp. So this is basically just, hey, let me not let Sheep get any kind of foothold here. Let me wipe out this one last board and see what I can do. Get off the Sork. I mean, the Sork's done her job.
Yeah, I don't know that she's really needed anymore. It isn't. It's a lot of damage from Jordan, actually. So, another 12 damage. If Jordan wants it, is the question. So it looks like he may be looking to, yeah, to draw a spell here.
Glyph's not too bad. Get some burn.
He's starting to think about
Well, he's trying to get value for
pushing
that
here.
mana cyclone as well. Yeah. 2
Oh.
ice blocks? What?
Gross.
What?
So we have Ice Block, we have Oasis Ally, and we have Effigy.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Looking good for our favorite electric-powered mammal.
Yeah, double Ice Block. Wow. In a format where you can't even run the card.
I mean, yeah, so I want to see the Arbor Up come down. But, like, my goodness. Jordan might win here just from...
He got the elemental allies value. He was looking for it. I missed that part.
Is he just looking for spell damage at this point?
For lethal, yeah.
I wonder, I mean, that Runed Orb.
Yeah, Rune.
Why not? He can spend whatever time he wants to do that.
He's got 2 Ice Blocks. Meteor. There you go. There goes both the taunts. And that's game.
Wow.
Well done, Jordan.
GG's, you guys. Wow. Okay. Okay.
Scam in a bottle.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then we've got Jordan taking the win and Sheep, unfortunately, taking the L here. Let me jump in with them real quick and see if they're interested in chatting.
I'm in.
Greetings, travelers.
Hello. Wow, good games. Good games. We noticed that on that the not the game you just played, but the previous one, just digging and digging and digging for that arbor up, and it was the what is it in the bottom three cards?
Oh no.
It was bottom three. Oh,
Yeah.
I had that one. If that arbor up
Yeah.
came like 2-3 turns earlier.
I just saw you digging and digging and digging.
So,
Well
thanks.
played, Jordan. Though, like well earned victory, friend.
yeah,
Well,
good,
Prior to my
yeah.
Jade claws, I think anytime you played Arbor up, you probably won.
yeah, good games to both of you. That
But
was
once I kept you off
fantastic.
the board, it was over.
Those Jade Claws came in clutch.
Very
yeah.
much so. Like 3-3, 4-4. Oh,
Yeah.
Jordan, that Shaman deck was like definitely a value generator. It was really good.
Yeah. You get Bolnar involved, and you start drawing like cards for every card you play, and that just goes nuts.
That's pretty crazy. So Sheep, we have caster vision over here. What was really crazy. So Jordan played 2 spells and then the mana cyclone. The 2 spells that he got
Oh my gosh.
were both ice block.
oh wow.
Ice block
yeah,
up and ice block in hand.
I was never winning that game. All right. I feel a little bit better about that. Not gonna lie.
As soon as we saw, we're like, oh yeah, Sheep, you're screwed.
Oh,
Nothing
well.
will save you now.
Wow.
I'm
Yeah,
glad
if I had
that,
caster vision, that'd be a bottom right there.
I don't actually think that Mage was a top 4 deck in that format, but I bought it for the content. I'm glad that content was delivered.
It was
It
definitely
was.
delivered and
Content. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
definitely
value.
delivered.
And you started off strong, Sheep, there with you double dirty ratted at the beginning. To get
Yeah, you
those-
hit that Cyclone over the Explorer over my Star Scryer. I was real sad. I was real upset.
Yeah, I felt great in the early game, and then I got out of the early game and did not feel as great.
Yeah, and then my girl lived for like 6 turns straight. That
Yeah.
helped a lot.
that
The randomly generated Evo also helped.
yes. That
Yeah.
was quite an evocation. Like you got a ton of value there.
So whenever I went face and saw that it wasn't like ice barrier or flame ward, I was like, what is the thing that punishes me the most? Oasis allies.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And I
you
was like,
played
that-
around it great. It was that.
But
and,
you did.
effigy.
I was surprised you played around it, but then I realized, wait a minute. I think this is good for me. Either way, I get a 3/6 or I have a girl alive. There's no losing here.
No win-win situation, huh?
Yeah.
Basically.
Wow.
Very entertaining games, guys.
So what was it? If I might know, huh?
The secrets? Is that what
Oh,
you
Yeah,
it was
and-
Oasis Ally. Was the one you played. The very
Oh, it
first one was
was?
Oasis Ally. Yeah.
It was.
And there was an
Let's go.
effigy.
All right.
Also,
There was the second one was Effigy and the third was Ice Block. But you just never traded after the first one, so the other Effigy didn't matter either.
We take those,
That's funny.
I guess.
Hey, I mean,
that Brittle Bone Destroyer, though. How about that, huh? That's pretty hot.
Dude, you got Brittle
Yeah,
Bone
and
value.
2
One
of
mana
them,
Brittle
too?
Bone, pink face. That was sick.
that was pretty crazy.
That was incredible.
What a great random minion to have cheap and then simulacrum some
Yeah.
removal minion. That's insanely lucky to get removal in a minion
Yeah, it was not
against
expecting
a
that.
horde of minions. From the
Well, and how many other classes, do you have where you can actually activate it too? And so being
Druid.
able
Oh yeah,
to,
that's
being able
yeah.
to ping
I
your
mean, I
own
guess you
face,
could attack into a minion if you had to with some of them, but
Yeah, you could with that, but
I
that'd
think I
be
wasn't-
it.
Shaman or something.
it's still
Warrior.
I was yeah, impressively done, especially when you get the random factor involved. It's like nobody knows what's going to happen. It could be all kinds of shenanigans, and so I don't know. I will say those were incredible games to watch. Great plays by both of you. And,
Yeah, the only things I was ruling out were Demon Seed and Stealer of Souls. Because those are the only 2 banned cards.
wow,
amazing.
All right. Well, I think, so we will do the stats over the weekend and see what happens. But I think there is a pretty good chance that you'll be going to the finals, Jordan. Or I should say at least the playoffs, rather. So that's
We'll
exciting.
see.
That's exciting.
It is.
Congratulations, Jordan. Well
Yeah.
played, match.
Congrats.
Real quick before we go, any thoughts from either of you? I guess let me start with Sheep first. Just on the deck building challenges this week, and again, a big shout out to Kay for coming up with the challenges. What were your thoughts when you created these decks? I know it was all 2 cost except 1 any cost. So how did you make your selection?
Yeah, so absolutely 100% props to Kay for constructing that challenge. So as far as my thoughts for constructing that challenge, Priest was pretty easy because hey, I can run Benedictus and
card. Yeah.
right, like get a whole new like archetype. All right, we take those. I probably should have run that at some point, TBH, but Shaman, I can considered a few different like side areas, and whenever I settled on Murlocs, untie or unite the Murlocs just seem
Untie
like the way
Murlocs. I still read it that way, man.
Yeah, Shaman was plentiful this week. You had like so many options in Shaman that were just fine.
to go. Yeah, right.
I even at one point tried Toxfin as 30th card, so you could run the combo with Flurple Toxfin and Ice Fishing, and it wasn't that bad.
I believe it 100%. Unite the Murlocs just gave me the refill that I really liked whenever I was testing him out, and so I was pretty happy with that one. Hunter was obvious, like super obvious with the quest line there. Smart ban, Jordan.
I think Hunter was the best deck in the format this week, probably.
Yeah, I agree with the possible exception of your warrior, which I didn't spot whenever I was constructing. Like I think I spec'd Dr. Bomb and Schmoopie, and one of them was playing a warrior, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cute, but I didn't really see the whole deck list because I was just specking them. And whenever I saw your whole deck list, I was like, I can't let this happen. And, like, no, I had to ban it.
Yeah, you hit them with the information, you get like a 5 and a 7-minute taunt, and you buff them, and then they just lose on the spot.
Yeah, like easy
Most
peasy.
2-drops can't deal with a 7-11 taunt. They just
Right.
kind of die.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Hitting them with a 2-mana deal 8 hero power.
Hey, I mean, you don't even really need that.
You don't.
That's
It's
just kind of
wild.
there, you know. Do you need
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, well, there was
Against
a lot
Priest, you win with the pure power button. Against like the board decks, you just make a bigger board.
Yeah.
You only really
Yeah.
need the weapon against like Hunter, which just will eventually kill you.
By the way, excellent spotting the lethal there. We missed it. Like we thought you were pretty close, but we didn't see it. When you
With the
started,
randomly generated goblin prank, whatever it's called.
yeah, it was enough. I mean, because we've all played.
I thought I had that one too.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly, Phil.
and
Yeah,
we've-
we all thought you had that too, Sheep. But yeah, Jordan pulled it out.
We've all been playing
Like a mouse.
so much like odd questline hunter that we're used to the hero power costing or doing 3 damage, and so when it's dealing 2, it's like the math. You got to do the math differently on the fly. But yeah, that was you pulled it out.
Yeah, I
Great
counted
work.
so many times. I almost messed it up at the end. I like was supposed to use my +1 on my quest reward, and I like panicked. I was like, "Oh crap, I misordered." Then I realized I had this bomb. I was real thankful for that bomb, but I forgot to adorable infestation my quest reward. I was like, "Oh
Guys, I
no!" All
gotta
that
go put
thinking, I've done it
Schmoopie
wrong.
down. Congrats, Jordan. Gotta go.
Thanks,
Alrighty.
man. Have a good night.
Later, Smoops.
Bye, Schmoopie. Yeah, that was incredible. So to round out the question with Druid, Arbor Up versus the
And
Greybow.
Greybow, actually. Yeah, and Bacon was... I considered it briefly, but without like patches and different things like that to really like capitalize. And Voracious Reader, like the refill just wasn't there. So it was really between Greybow and Arbor Up. And I went with Arbor Up as more of a finisher versus Greybow to like give that continual pressure. And in testing, Arbor Up worked pretty well. In our match, like whenever Arbor Up was bottom 3, like whatever, it didn't matter, right? But whenever I actually drew Arbor Up in our final game, Greybow would have actually been impactful, if not relevant. So I stand by the Arbor Up in general as a finisher, but Greybow was also had its merits as well, for sure. So that rounds out the answer to my question for how I constructed my decks.
Yeah. Jordan, what about you?
Well, my game plan and idea and theory with this week is basically as a result of what Sheep just said, where when you don't draw your one card, you're playing a bunch of random 2-drops. So I chose to go with 4 decks where the value of your 30th card is always present, which is either a quest line, or priest. I'm pretty certain that Shadow Priest was just a top 4 deck. Like, there's no way it's not. But I brought the Mage because it's like way more interesting and entertaining. But I was a little worried with that Priest. Like, with the stealth cards thrown in there, it actually just gets a surprising amount of damage to the face. And it get like the other decks that verse it can't go fast enough, so that it has time to play 2 Shadow Visions, so it can like always deal 20 at some point in the game over everything if it like has the time. And it's hard to pressure enough. So outside of like my warrior, I was pretty hosed into the priest. And that's like maybe Hunter could go fast enough, but
yeah.
So yeah, but I decided last minute to bring Mage instead because that deck's just a big RNG fiesta.
The content.
The other ones were just though, you know, if you don't have Benedictus to always have a hero power giving you value, throw in a quest line, throw in a win condition.
That makes
Same
sense.
with Sheep, the Hunter was pretty obvious. I do wish I owned Toxic Arrow so I could throw in some ghouls for the memes, but I didn't know Toxic Arrow, so I didn't throw in ghouls for the memes.
That's great.
And then Shaman Max actually came up with, and I like helped him, I don't know, test it and refine it and stuff. But just an infinite value hero power with lots of cheap battle cries as your entire deck. Sometimes gets there.
Hey, sometimes it's all it takes.
And tonight was one of those nights.
Hey, that's right.
Well, yeah, that was such a grindy game.
Oh my goodness.
It really was too.
I will tell you, we were literally like on the edge of our seat. Like, what is happening? You know, what is going to happen next? And the swing turns. It was like, oh, look at Sheep's going to pull it out. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he
Jordan,
did like 5 minions in composting, and then I'd kill everything somehow.
Yeah, and then we go, oh, Jordan just wiped the whole board. Oh my god, look at Jordan's got a huge board. Oh, Sheep managed to kill it all. Like, and it was just back and forth. It was great.
It was great. And when Nate had mentioned that he was on the edge of his seat, I looked down and I actually was at the very edge of my seat, like leaning into my monitor.
Yeah. Until like the final 2 or 3 turns of the games that I lost, I felt like I was in that. Like, well played. Except for the penultimate Druid game of mine. Like that one, I knew was over for a while. But I mean, you play it out whenever a shot at playoffs is on the line, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, the poor Druid deck is exactly why I didn't bring like Paladin. Like Paladin was super good this week too. But the problem with like one Arbor Up and one Cult Arms is sometimes that happens. And that's really sad.
That one was pretty strong, even if you didn't draw like Arbor Up or Greybow. But
actually, yeah, your win condition in that deck's kind of just the 2-mana 2/3 Coldbore, huh?
Yeah, it
you had that
really
coin
was.
one against me in the one game. I was like, well, this is over.
And surprisingly, it wasn't.
Thankfully, Arbor Up was bottom 3. But yeah,
Dude,
Paladin
right?
was super like. Paladin was super good. Like the Paladin 2-drops, I think, are the best 2-drops in the game, but they just didn't have a really good 30th card. Like Caravan, if it sticks on 2, you just win the game. You have so many bubbles for your like Hand of Dolls and your Noble Mounts and your conditions. Like Paladin's a house.
I thought
Having
about Paladin
Called
instead
Arms
of
to the 30th is
Priest.
super sus.
Yeah, I thought about
think Priest
Paladin
was
instead of
definitely correct.
Priest, but
Priest
I
is
went with
also
Priest
out.
instead. Yeah, like I feel like all 8 of our decks really like were contenders. Paladin was
Yeah.
kind of the all like ninth,
I had
fifth for
six
both of
decks
us.
at one point. There's quite a few things you
Yeah.
could bring here.
Yeah, call to arms is just bonkers.
I am curious
this
if anyone brought the Paladin and like brought the 2-mana Reno card for Paladin. And those their 30th card is like Reno or something.
That'd be great.
That'd be hilarious.
Kind of spicy.
Whenever I was reviewing them, I don't think so. TBH.
I know. I thought about it. I was like, what if we just chuck this bad boy in here and draw it on 2?
We're gonna be rich.
Yeah. I think there's also like, if I was a better player, there might have been a rogue deck with Hanar, like 2 secrets and Hanar, like
Yeah,
something there, but I couldn't figure it out. It was too sus.
So the one non 2-drop I thought for that one was the 3-drop that if you have a secret or if you have a secret in your hand, you play the secret and you draw a card. I thought about that one, but I didn't really play it because other things seemed like stronger, and that one just seemed kind of like general like tempo almost arena, which I think would probably have been relevant and like worth more consideration than I honestly gave it. But I also didn't really give it more like consideration.
Another deck I wish somebody brought. I hope there's some madman out there who brought Discard Warlock, and there's exactly 6 discard cards in the format. You just
Oh
you just
my
play all
goodness.
of them without discarding any of them, and you get your portal.
Wow. Hey, the
What
value.
would your 30th card have been?
The discard quest.
It'd be the
To
quest.
get your portal.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
There's exactly 6 discard cards. Like post Demon Seed or pre-Demon Seed ban, that was like pretty much the only thing you could do with all 2-drop cards, was just like tap a lot and play Bloodbound Imp and have it stick. Warlock was pretty bad this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Warlock, but
What
I
a
mean, I
difference
didn't bring it.
in the wild format to this where Warlock's the worst instead of the best.
That's funny.
I don't know. Even Lock's still pretty good.
Yeah, well, in this format,
In this format, nah.
yes, in regular wild, Warlock's the best class. As it appears it will always be. I don't know. Apparently it's immune.
Probably.
As is tradition.
Yeah, but that's like the only class that like there was just no option for that I could find.
Death,
Even Demon
Taxes,
Hunter, you
and
could do, like,
Warlock being the
Razor
best
Board.
class in Wild.
Yeah, for real. All right, fellas. Well, I think that about wraps it up for tonight. Before we go, Sheep, where can people find you if they want to follow you or watch your content?
Yeah, I can be found around the internet at Electric Sheep City, where that fits, like Twitch, and at eSheep City, where places that doesn't fit, like Twitter. How about you, Jordan?
I can be found at JordanMG on Twitter and YouTube, and I'll have a video up of my matches and stuff. So look out for that.
I can't wait
cool.
to watch you roast me.
I got a really spicy intro made already. I'm excited.
Oh, sick.
Excitement abounds.
Nice. And
Should be an exciting finale to the series.
Yeah, definitely. And our matchup will be posted along with the podcast at some point tomorrow. So, well, very good games to both of you. And thank you for allowing us to stream and cast your match. It was a lot of fun. So, GG's, GG Sheep, and congrats to Jordan as well for the win.
Congratulations.
And
Well played.
Well played.
Well met.
Played. All right, everybody. Well, thank you all for joining us, and catch us next week for another episode of the Born to Be Wild listener series, and we'll be in the playoffs next week. So
Let's go.
excitement abounds, and that will do it for us tonight.